In this video, I'm going to show you how to enable RAG in your Obsidian Vault so you can search your entire database, talk to all your files, your notes, your PDFs, no cloud uploads, there's no source limit, and this thing keeps itself up to date even when you edit your file. There's a lot of steam behind the AI and Obsidian crossover. I've been all about it since I discovered the entire thing, and the number one question that I keep seeing and I'm answering in the YouTube comments is this better than RAG? Or how do I use this with RAG? Or like, how do I talk to these documents, right? And I'm finally going to address that in this video here. I was talking to somebody in my community that was asking about this specific thing, and up to this point, to talk to their data, they've been using NotebookLM, which is an awesome platform, but it is totally wrong for this. They ran into issues because there's a 50 source limit and they couldn't search between notebooks, and anytime anything changed, they had to delete everything and then re-upload. It was just a huge pain in the ass. This pipeline replaces all of that. This isn't wildly technical, but there are a couple steps. Is there an easier way to do it? Yes, but I've found that it's actually more frustrating to use if you don't do it our way. But I'm doing this end to end so you can follow along, or if you just want it all taken care of, you can click the link in the description and get this workflow for yourself so your agent can just do it and you can leave it alone. We're gonna use Claude Code to get this set up for us, but the pipeline is as easy as we clean up the files into one format, Markdown, we add the metadata, and then we're gonna use an Obsidian plugin called Copilot to do the embeddings, and after that, we're pretty much good to go. So let's dig into it. Okie dokie. So the biggest bottleneck in any RAG system is getting your data clean. Like if you feed AI garbage, it will retrieve garbage. And if you got a folder full of PDFs, you can't just dump them all into a vector database. You need to parse them first because the AI doesn't know how to read that stuff. And there are some advancements being made with this. Google just released Embeddings 2, which is supposed to alleviate this entire step. But that's an experimental preview. So, I mean, this step could be obsolete later on down the line. It remains to be seen, but I'm absolutely gonna show you first what's proven to work and what I've been using for myself. So we're gonna go to GitHub and check out Dockling. It's a project by IBM that parses documents for us, just digests everything for you. And it does exactly as the diagram outlines here. It takes PDFs, PowerPoints, DocX, HTML, and like a bunch of other different formats, WAV, MP3, images, all sorts of stuff. And then it chews it up and spits it out into a language that AI can understand, which is either Markdown or JSON or whatever, okay? This is what we're going to use to clean up our documents and give it to AI in a way that it understands. Installation is wicked easy. It's done with pip. So you just scroll down to installation here, copy this, and you can install it directly into your Claude Code here. I'm going to go and do it all in the one prompt so you don't have to worry about that. It'll be listed in the link in the description as well, this whole thing. Okay, so we're back in our Obsidian vaults, and I don't know if you guys can see, I can't really zoom in here, but up on the top right, this is our Copilot. So I've already got this set up for myself. I can go in and talk to this about any of the files in my vault. I can ask it questions. It'll come back with sources and whatnot. Yes, to be clear, you could be doing this with Claude Code or Codex or whatever in the Obsidian terminal as it is. It's got the power to search through your files. It's got grep. It's got all that stuff. However, I don't think it's the best use of our paid tokens, right? All of us are worried about rate limiting all the time. So for the daily driver and just simple queries, the Copilot is definitely the way to go. We're going to use Claude Code to get it set up, but after that, this is the better daily driver. Okay, so getting that out of the way. First things first, we got to go and get these plugins for ourselves. So if we go to the settings, go to community plugins, and the one we need is called Copilot. I've already got it installed, but we're going to click install and enable, and it's going to be just like that. I'm going to go to options because that's our next step. We just need to get an API key. I'm going to choose Gemini. So you go to Google AI Studio to get your API key. Just down here on the bottom left, go API keys, click create API key, and then copy that. Paste it over here in our Obsidian vault, and then close out of this. Next, go over to QA, and then click enable semantic search. Don't worry about the embedding model dropdown at this point because the one we need isn't actually in the dropdown out of the box. We're gonna have to actually ask Claude Code to edit the config here so we get the right embedding model, and then go auto index on startup. So that means anytime that your Obsidian Vault refreshes, it looks for the delta and updates the embeddings from here. So that's cool. Close this out. Now we get to actually tell Claude Code what to do. So for the sake of the demo, I just had a random PDF drawn up with a couple different modes, you know? So you've got your text, you've got your table, there's a visual report right here. And this is what we're going to use to test this whole pipeline. I don't know about you guys, but for this sort of thing, I like to type in the terminal itself. Anyway, we're going to add this prompt here so Claude Code can generate the scripts it needs to clean these things and fix the embedding models and all that stuff. I'll share the prompt for you, okay? But I'm telling this file to do a couple different things. We're going to tell it to go and use Dockling to parse this file, right? PDF or whatever sort of format it is into something that AI can read. We're telling it to go and add a front matter, so with tags and sources and that kind of thing. If there's images, we're pulling in an inexpensive vision model, Haiku 4.5, to check that out and describe it. We're also having it go in to the Copilot config and fix the embedding model, because the one that comes out of the box, like I was saying before, is actually deprecated and won't work. It's actually making sure that all of the config for a Copilot is correct. It's making sure that it's indexing on startup and that the API key is set to Gemini that we just put in as well. Once this is all done, we'll refresh the Copilot instance and it's gonna work out for us. Do I want to create PDF to RAG pipeline? Yes, I do. Okay, so here's a breakdown of every decision made in the script, just like we were saying. It says Dockling parsing, image trigger system. So if there's an image, Dockling is instructed to use an image placeholder. And then when we do our AI pass to enrich these, we get the image model to go and see what that actually was. Front matter and key takeaways are critically important for this sort of stuff. We're going to save them in the Vault library. And then it's just double checking that the Copilot config is correct. Actually, another thing I should mention really quickly is if you want the image layer that we're incorporating here, you do need your OpenRouter or Anthropic API key saved somewhere. I've got a video here about how to get that and store it safely on your operating system variables. So just so you know, if you're going to call the image, you do need to bring in your own API keys. This is an option without that layer as well. Just do Dockling to Markdown. That's okay. Other than that, though, let's do this and see how this works now, okay? So I'm going to say, can you run the PDF RAG pipeline on this file? I only have one for the demo, but you would point it at your folder. Full disclosure, I had to change the image in this PDF. I had to change it to something a little bit more complicated because the one I had before didn't trigger the vision model. It was already described in the notes, and then Claude was looking at it, and it's like, it's just a line through a box. So it didn't actually do anything. So I changed the image to something a little bit more realistic, where it's like, hey, there's a scratch on this table. It looks like this. And then it triggered the vision model. So if you go over here to the new digested information for our agent, it's got everything that we need, right? It's got the image description, it's got the inspector notes, it's got the table, the text, everything is already there digested. So from here we go over to our Copilot and click build index, or we just refresh Obsidian and then it's going to index the new files anyway. You go over here and just go Vault QA and it's going to pull up the currently open page, which is a thing. Close it down, didn't add any extra context here, but we're going to go Vault Q&A. And I'm going to ask it about the scratch on the table from claim 001. This is in our demo PDF. Anyway, so we're going to click enter and it's going to say the vintage oak desk item 1 sustained a deep scratch on its left hand panel. And it's going to say sources. This guy here, it's got this for us ready to go. Inspector Michael completed the assessment on March 11th, 2026. Got that here, pulled up the source. Everything is rocking. So like I said, you could be doing this with Claude Code, but it's just a massive soak of your paid tokens, and we're all worried about rate limits, so this is the better way to do it. The only caveat I will add is you may eventually have to add a paid embedding model. I've done this 6 times for the sake of demos and the video and whatnot today, but I don't have as many files as a lot of my friends out there do, of course, so I don't know what the rate limiting would be like under Gemini's free tier. That's the only thing. You can always change the config to something in OpenRouter and just use your embeddings that way as well. So anyway, no source limits, no black box, 100% control of your data. This is the way. If you want the exact copy paste prompts in this entire pipeline, click the link in the description and get this workflow for yourself. Get in there, steal my stuff, build your own agent. Make sure to subscribe for more because we do this all the time, and I will catch you in the next one.